Hi, Richard Cole again. Rich is talking. With the presidential election year, where people are starting to vote already in the early voting states, what always comes up is why we don't just go by the popular vote and forget this complicated electoral college. Well, I thought I would spend this first part. There's going to be two sections to this subject. The first part, part one, I'm going to talk about why we have the Electoral College, the electoral system, what it is, how it works, and why we wouldn't have a country today if it wasn't for that. So it started out with the original, after the war, 13 states. They were called colonies, but now they weren't owned by anybody else, so they were states, each one. These are the 13 states. It was interesting at the time, they all wanted to be separate. Actually, not all of them. Certain ones wanted to just be a separate state. They did not want to be part of a country. They didn't want somebody else to tell them they have to pay them taxes. But people like Alexander and Hamilton and others in the North said, we've got to be together. Britain could go after us again. And if we're separate states, they could pick us off one by one. So they did agree to join up, have a militia, and allow the federal government to tax them to pay for whatever is needed, but the states would have their own legislators as well to control the states. Incidentally, the threat of Britain coming back again was real because in 1812 they invaded the United States again. But anyway, back to what happened when the states agreed to unite, and that's very important. They agreed to unite together, which is why that we got the term United States. Then they wanted someone to preside over them. George Washington, everybody knew was going to be him because he had won the war, a long, hard war. He was there at the front all the time and won it. So everybody wanted him. So what do they call him? First they said His Excellency George Washington. He didn't want that. Then they said King George Washington. He didn't want that. But as they said, they wanted somebody to preside over the states. So what's derived out of the word preside is the word president. So he became president to preside over the states. Then when it came to electing the president, other than George Washington, but in the future, they looked at it and the smaller population states said, well, this isn't fair because New York and Massachusetts and Virginia and Pennsylvania, they're going to decide who the president is. We can't. Our people, we don't have enough people. And so they finally said, all right, Alexander Hamilton was very much involved in creating the Electoral College. What they would do is for each congressperson, member of Congress, that would be one electoral vote. And for each senator, there was two in every state, there would be two. So that would be 3 electoral votes. So the number of Congress people, even till today, it's the number of Congress people plus 2. And that's how they come up with the electoral votes in every state. So that allowed them to say, all right, all the states have a say in electing the President of the United States. That still applies today. Today it's states like New York still, Massachusetts, but now it's Illinois and California, where all the big cities are. They would be deciding who the president is. And without the Electoral College, all those states in the middle of the country would have little or no say. So it's very, very important we continue this Electoral College. The popular vote doesn't really mean anything. It's just interesting news. But what's important is the electoral votes. The way I look at this is The president is not the president of the American people. He's the president of those United States, the president of the states that are united, the president of the United States. That's how I look at it. Popular vote, each state has their own popular vote. And whatever one wins, that's how it's cast for the president. If the Democrats win in a state, then those votes go to the Democrat who's running for president, and the same for the Republicans. So here's a little fun. We'll go through some maps here showing where we are today. Some of it's my own thoughts on it, and show you where we need to get to. This is based on listening to polls that are out there, comments and so forth, and my own gut feeling. So let's start with some of these maps now. Okay, this is a map of the United States with the allocation of the electoral votes based on what pundits think it is. It's a total of 193 for the blue and 154 for the red being Republican, blue being Democrat, and some states they haven't allocated yet. So you can see where they stand on needing to get 270 votes to win. All right, this is where I have allocated based on my thoughts of where we are. And this totals now, it doesn't show the total on here, I don't know why. But anyway, the total was 239 for the Democrats and 235 for the Republicans. So if you will accept my casual numbers here, it's 4 states left as have been allocated. They call those the battleground states. You can see Pennsylvania 19, Virginia 13, North Carolina 16, Georgia 16. Harris needs 31 votes, Trump needs 35 votes. So you can see if Harris gets Pennsylvania, she only needs one other state. Trump really needs 3 states, I need 3 states. So it's more difficult for him than it is for Harris. But Pennsylvania is a big deciding one there with those 19 votes. It's a very important state, and that one's split right now. We don't know which way that's going. So I hope you found this helpful. I said there'd be a part 2, but I actually included it in here. So parts 1 and 2 are already together. And any comments or questions, put them down here in the comments section and I'll respond. As you've noticed, I do respond quite a bit to the comments. So also, if you wouldn't mind hitting the YouTube button in my profile, which takes you to my YouTube channel, and hit subscribe on there. That helps very much getting this out there to more people to help us get the votes we want. And you know, I'm leaning toward, not just leaning toward, but in favor of the Republican choice. Thanks so much. Bye.